Hiya.
Hello, Tom. How
Hi,
are
everyone.
you?
I'm really good. I've had a lot of sugar. Have I told you how much sugar I'd
When have
had?
you not?
Well, sometimes I'm a bit sluggish, but sometimes I just have lots of sugar. You know those, what are they called? The Cadbury clusters with the, this is bag.
Marshmallows?
Cadbury clusters. No, I said clusters and you said marshmallows. No. They're like
You mean Rocky
honeycomb and
Roads?
cornflakes. Nope.
What? What are you on about? Crunchy?
They're like crunchy clusters.
Okay, crunchy clusters. I've never had one, but
Well,
sure.
there are a lot of sugar in them. If you have a whole bag, you're...
So do you, like, when do you
So
eat your
what-
sugar? When do you have your intake? Do you have it, like, just before we record or, like, an hour? Like, what's your
I have about
remedy to get a
6.
buzz?
I have about 6.
PM.
6 p.m. 6 a.m. and it just buzzes me the whole way through the day. I had about
Only.
6
Not
p.m.
even black
and,
coffee can do that for me.
I bet it could.
Sadly
I think we
not.
should try this. Next week,
Sadly
Annie's going to
not.
have black coffee only.
There's
black
this
coffee
person
diet.
at my work that likes to have 2 espresso shots and 1 Americano all mixed in together, and he calls it rocket fuel.
Arthur,
I don't know whether to be concerned.
there's something called suicide coffee where they put butter in coffee. And that sounds rancid.
Butter.
Yeah, you know, like what you put on bread.
Why would you put butter in coffee?
Mm.
What, to make it like... No, but that wouldn't even make it creamy. See, Americans, right? You Americans out there that are listening to this, you put physical cream in your coffee.
Physical cream, not metaphorical
Not
cream.
because when I went to
That's
when I
mad.
went to America, they were like, "Would you like cream?" And I was like, "Maybe that's what they just say for milk, but it's not. It's actual cream, and it tastes
Clotted cream.
amazing. Not clotted cream, like nice smooth cream. Tastes amazing, but my god, like that is a hefty coffee. I can't imagine what it would be like with butter. Bloody hell,
That's what they
bloody
call it,
hell.
suicide coffee.
Anyway, maybe I should try out one of those before next week's recording, and then I'll be on your level. I think.
I bet you won't. You might be on my level. I just don't think you'll try it.
I don't. What the? But the thing is, right?
Yeah,
Is it going to complement a long shot? Because I do like a long shot, and if it's
Well,
going to
luckily for
compromise
you,
my
Anya.
long shot, then I'm not sure I can have it.
Well, Longshot sponsoring this season. What are the chances?
I'll
Thank you very
have to
much.
wait until next season or a season that they're not sponsoring, and then I'll have the rocket fuel coffee.
Thank you very much, Longshot, for sponsoring this whole season of Wild Oats Toe Before You Adult. I am drinking the strawberry and rhubarb flavour, which is a fan favourite.
Yes, we do love it. We do.
And
love
I got a
it.
straw.
You got a lovely little straw. Ooh. I'm not sure about that straw noise though. Oh, no. I'm actually taking my headphones off.
What about the
No,
action? Does the action help?
That's not. I am not putting my headphones on until you stop making that noise. Everyone, Tom, think about everyone that has to wear headphones right now. That's a horrible noise. That noise to me is like putting nails down a blackboard.
Okay.
That's a horrible noise.
That is a
No.
horrible noise.
Don't ruin my long shot moment with that horrible noise, please and thank you.
But
Well,
maybe
it's
don't
me-
watch me drink. How
it's
about
the
that?
happiest
Let me have
moment-
some privacy.
The happiest moment of the day, and you have to go and ruin it every single time, don't you? What is wrong with you?
That's what I do best. I'm a big fan of ruining things for people.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Sure.
What? That's not a long shot, Anya. Oh no, and she's muted us. Oh, the disrespect. What about this? Yeah. You getting into Zen mode?
Just gonna ignore the blasphemy that I've heard in my ears.
Okay, well, whilst you collect yourself, I'm going to tell the Tune Squad about something that we play every week.
Go on.
So
then. The floor
Do
is
you know what?
yours.
I'm not
Go
going to
on
now.
then.
Do you know
Go
what?
on then.
No, I'm going to go and play with my straw. That sounds worse than I wanted it to. So, every week, Anya and I play this game called I'm an Adult But, where we pick out something from our recent past that wasn't very adult-like. And it's something that you go, oh no, Tom or Anya shouldn't have done that because they're grown-ups and Anya's nearly 100. And so,
What's nearly?
we pick some... We...
1/4, not
Relax.
nearly.
So we pick something out in our past that isn't very adultish. And this week, Anya, I'm going to start it
Go on then.
because
Save the best to last.
I've got this on okay. I've got it on the front of my brain, and if I don't go first, I'll forget it.
Go on
So,
then. Floor is yours.
one thing that makes me super uncomfortable
Yeah.
One of the many things that make me super uncomfortable is other people's emotions. Just in general.
We know this.
If
so
someone's
many
sad,
times, Tom.
if someone comes up to me and they're sad, I
Don't
go,
cry around Tom.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Are you okay? And a girl came to work and she looked upset.
Oh,
And
dear.
I said, oh, are you okay? She went, not really. She shook her head. And I said, because this is the right thing you have to say. You have to say, do you want to talk about it or do you want to just leave it? And she goes, just leave it if that's okay. And I said what I was saying in my head. I said, oh, thank God. And then I was like, oh, that's not what you say to someone who's upset. You don't say, thank God you don't want to tell me about your sad emotions. And I was just there like, oh no, Tom, what are you doing? You know when you say something...
Did you say it, thank God?
Yes.
You said it out loud?
I said that out loud.
Oh, Tom,
that was the
sorry.
issue.
I thought
that
you
was the
said
issue.
it inside
No.
your head.
No, so when you say something in your head and then you see the words coming out and you go, oh no, Tom, grab them back, grab them back, grab them back. No.
Tom, you
And she said,
idiot.
no, I don't really want to talk about it. And I went, oh, thank God. And
What did she say? That's so rude.
how rude is that?
That's so...
That is so rude.
Tap on the back of your hand.
I was
Tom
like...
Humphrey.
I sat there, I was like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that's not... I wanted to think it internally because I had to make a joke at that point. I was thinking that internally.
So
but
awkward. Why are
but
you this person?
I don't know, Anya. I
don't
don't
even wanna
know.
know about this
All of me just
story.
like cringes up. I'm like, oh,
This story
God.
is making me cringe and I wasn't even there.
Yeah, and she just kind of like sat there. And I was like, okay, maybe if I make myself the most awkward in the room, she won't feel so bad about X, Y, and Z that may have happened to her.
Right, so what did you do?
I said, that sounded worse than I wanted to. I just really don't like talking about people's emotions because then I think about my emotions. I don't like doing that. She was just like, and then she said, this was the wild part. She said, do you want to talk about it? And I was like, no, not really. So I became the most unstable in the room.
Oh my God. Why? Why does this always happen to you? And why does it always happen at work? What is
I think
wrong
work environment.
with you?
I think I'm not comfortable in work environments, like serious places. I'm not good at.
It brings out like the worst part of you. It's like you can't relax.
I can't.
Do you know what it
I
is,
really
right?
can't.
It's almost like you feel guilty. You know when someone feels so guilty that they can't act normal. It's almost like you've killed someone. You're carrying around this massive secret and you're
got some
acting
bad news for
guilty
you,
in front
Anya.
of everyone.
I killed someone.
Why are you this person?
I don't know.
Honest
I think
to God. So what happened next? Like, what was the next like steps in the conversation? Like, did she walk out of the room?
no.
Did
She said,
leave?
"Are you okay?" Is what
Yeah.
she said. And I said, "I just am bad at social situations." She went, "Okay," and then silence followed for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Where was this? Like in the studio, in the
Yeah,
kitchen?
This was at work in the studio.
Oh my God.
And it was
Tom.
uncomfortable. Like, in my head, I had to ask the question, do you want to talk about it? Do you not want to talk about it? And in my head, everything's, alarm bells are going off going, hope she says don't talk about it, hope she says don't talk about it, hope she says don't talk about it. And then she goes, oh, I don't want to talk about it. And I went, in my head, I was like, oh, thank God. And I was like, oh, those words actually came out.
Bad. So have you said anything to her since? Like in
Oh,
your
we've
conversation?
moved on at that point.
Do you know
but,
what I think you just need to do is like
turn my phone off. You're right.
like me. Do you know what I think you just have to do is you need to go out for a drink and you need to let her talk about it with you and then you need to share as well. I think you need to share.
No.
Sharing is caring. I think you both need to just like rip the band-aid off because right now it's like the elephant in the room between the two of you. Now you
Well,
both
I don't
have
want to talk about her emotions.
and she doesn't want to talk about your emotions and you're both just sat there like,
Well,
okay,
I don't
we
want to
both
talk to her about my emotions.
emotional burdens and we're not going to share them with each other.
Absolutely not. We're fine. We're moving on. We're now pals.
That's not healthy.
We talk about bears. It's great.
Oh,
Do you know it was Fat Bear season recently?
no, I didn't know that.
How funny is that?
Fat bear
Fat-
season.
So Fat Bear season is where all the bears get as much weight as they can
Yeah.
before hibernating.
Right.
And you just see bears go from super thin to these
To
huge,
really
big
fat.
beasts of
Sorry,
bears.
that's very weightist of me. Very
Come on.
large.
Oh, it is called Fat Bear season.
To
So
be,
you're allowed
yeah,
to.
it's in the title. Don't you think that's like a bit weightist? Is weightist a word?
No,
You know
It's
what I
fat
mean, though.
shaming.
Fat shaming.
is the term.
Fat shaming
But,
bears. It's not very nice, is it?
Well, it is. Because that's what they're doing. They're gaining as much fat as they can.
Yeah.
I think fat shaming is where you point at someone who's not averted. No, that's not the word I wanted to use. Who's inadvertently put on weight.
Yeah.
And then if you're fat shaming someone who has gone through something and put on weight, that's fat shaming.
You're saying it's as if
Am I
it's
saying
a
fat
bad
shaming's
thing.
a bad thing?
No.
Fat shaming's a bad thing.
No, as in like when you
Anya's
actually do
against
fat shame somebody, you're fat shaming them as though it's a bad. Like you're saying that's
Yeah.
a bad thing. Whilst
Yeah, it's a
in this
negative thing.
case, the fat bears, they need to get fat, otherwise they're not going to survive. So it's really. a good
Otherwise, they'll
thing.
freeze throughout the winter.
This is exactly what I say to my friends when they're like, "Why have you ordered your this is not even an exaggeration tonight, fifth takeaway in a row? I can't be tamed. Can't be tamed.
Go on.
Just I will continue. Anyway, Tom, do you want to know my I'm an adult but?
You had 5 takeaways in a row.
Do you know what? I wish it was that. We should just keep it with that. But no, unfortunately not. Oh, that
I'm trying
straw.
to. I'm
Get
trying.
rid of the straw.
I did.
Good, thank you. I'm an adult, but I sprained my ankle.
Congrats. That's not a childish move.
Yeah, it is. I was literally running on the spot. It couldn't have been like the most pathetic sprain of an ankle if I tried.
Fall?
I literally just fell.
Just collapsed.
I just collapsed. I literally just landed on my foot funny and it crunched and I fell to the floor in agony. Like, how did I just do that? How the how? And do you know what I think it is, Tom? I'm going to bear all my sins now. I think it's karma. I think it's karma.
Did you laugh at someone else?
There's witchery out there. No. So I was halfway through my home workout where I run on the spot and...
Is that the whole workout? You can run further.
No. Do you know what? It's so embarrassing. But we're going to have to come back to that part of the story. Because I went to A&E and she was like, so how did you do it? And I was like, I was just doing a home workout and I fell over. And she was like, oh, burpees. And I was like, no, running on the spot.
Oh, Anya. Like, I'm
not
laughing,
even an impressive workout.
But that's more exercise than I've done in about 2 months.
No, you go to the gym now.
Not for the past 2 weeks, though, Anya. My gym going is very infrequent. It's
Fair
disgustingly infrequent.
It's fine. I've had 5 takeaways in a row because of my sprained ankle and I can't be asked to go to Sainsbury's. Anyway, the point being, I think it's karma because 15 minutes into my half an hour home workout, I get a knock at the door and I'm the only one that's in. And I'm like, okay, we'll go to the door, just see who it is. And it's a salesperson, and I never have ever in my life had a salesperson come to the door, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? Okay, fine, I'll entertain this even though I'm halfway through my workout, it's fine. And the guy is from St George's Hospital, which is very, very close to me, and he basically is trying to get people to sign up to donate to St George's Hospital. Yeah. And in my head I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to your whole spiel, and this is something that you shouldn't do because otherwise apparently you're going to sprain your ankle. Carmel will beat your beep. If you say to salespeople that you are under 25, they physically cannot take your money because you have to be 25 or older.
Is that the rule?
It's a rule. It's legally you have to be 25 or older to be able to donate money every single month on their like donating scheme.
Oh man.
They can't take money off of people that are under 25 or I think it's like over 65 because you're in the bracket where you're not earning as much money as like other people. So when it came to like him saying, oh, you look quite young though, how old are you? I was like, oh, no. I'm 21.
Oh, smart. That's a big move.
I'm 21.
That's big.
So I didn't have to say to him, I don't want to donate. I'd actually quite like to keep my money and, save for a house or something.
How much are they asking for donations?
Oh, probably something small. He was like,
40 grand?
He was like, you can spare a coffee each week. And I was like, I could, but
I like coffee.
I like my Starbucks. I'm an awful person. I was like, yeah, no, I really could. How old are you? Oh, 21. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, close the door on him. Not even kidding. The next workout I did was running on the spot. 15 seconds in, I was on the floor. I was like, what is going on?
St George's Hospital, hell!
And that's the worst part about it. So then I snapped my ankle, Was there for like 2 hours. Like, do I go to A&E? Do I not? Couldn't stand on it. Couldn't put weight on it, and ended up in St George's Hospital. Like, well,
oh no,
no,
So you were
serious.
there for hours because
Real story.
They're unfunded.
No, actually, I was in and out. So clearly, this area is doing better than I am. My neighbours
Unreal.
are angels, and I'm just here like this dirty fiend who will not donate to charity and ends up using all of their services and paying for none of it. Bless the NHS. It's great.
Yes, it's a great
I pay for it in my taxes, okay? Anyway, I am an adult, but I'm an awful person, and I have paid for it.
So I have a similar situation. In second year of university, a Jehovah's Witness once knocked on my door
Yeah.
and said, I am here going door to door to try and convince people to follow the word of the Lord, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I've been brought up Christian, so I know roughly the same stories that she's going to try to sell me. I have like GCSEs and religious education, blah, 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 blah.
So clued up.
Exactly. So I took her on. I was like, you don't need to try and convert me because this, that, and the other. And then she goes, yeah, but what about this? I was like, well, I've already studied that. I've already got that on my belt. And then she was like, okay, have a nice day, and walked off. The next day, she came again and said, is the other kid here? She wanted to talk to me again.
Really?
All about religion.
What?
Yeah.
She wanted to just take you on this time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
enough.
Matt answered the door, and she said, is the other kid there? And he said, yeah, he is. 1 second. Tom, a woman's here to talk to you. She came, I
She
joke you
came
not.
back to have
She came
another
back
debate
at least 3-4 times.
just to try and convert you.
Yeah.
Well, you got to give it to her. She's committed to the cause.
No, come on. So just never try and take on anyone who's going door to door.
No, just say you're under 25 and they'll leave you.
I was 19.
To be fair, you were 19.
Talk-
But they are on your property. You
To
could
be
just
fair,
close
you were
the door
19.
on them. But that is
I
rude.
couldn't.
I know, that's
couldn't.
why I couldn't. That's why I stood there for 10 minutes in my head knowing that I knew how to end the
It's
conversation.
not like a phone call. I just go, no.
No, you're literally right in front of my face. I can't say no. It's very difficult. For all those out there that are working in sales, door-to-door sales, I don't know how you do it. Stamina, pure stamina. You are having 10 bags of those crunchy clusters and 5 Rocket
Buzzing.
Fuel coffees before you go out every day. That's what I need. Some stamina.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Got weird. What are we talking about this week, Anya?
Not Anya. Who is that person? I've never met her. I've never met her.
Silly goose.
This week, Tom, you, Tom, and I, Anya,
Anya.
are talking about insecurities, Tom. I'm ready
Yes.
to lay all my insecurities bare to you all.
Okay, I'm just going to turn my headphones off. You can go.
Don't you think, though, like, it's a bit weird?
Do you want to
that-
talk about your emotions, Anya?
No.
Oh, thank God.
That's your insecurity. Can't talk about emotions.
Yeah,
I just
genuine
find it weird, like, just knowing that loads of strangers out there are just now gonna know what I'm insecure about.
What you should do is, like me, have loads.
I do have loads.
Only share a
have
few of your
loads.
insecurities. Have some in the back.
Shall I savor some? Is that
Always-
fair?
Always save some of your insecurities so people don't know. They can't catch you out, Anya. It's a game. Always be one step ahead.
I don't think people will catch me out for my insecurities, though. I think they'll just, hopefully, the kids listening, they're nice people. They'll be good to me. They're not gonna come for me, my insecurities.
They're going to steal your insecurities. They want to be the most
steal them.
insecure.
They can have them if they want.
There can only be one.
What is your biggest insecurity, Tom?
Oh, what a question. And I was not expecting such a heavy-hitting question straight off the bat.
There you go.
My biggest insecurity? I don't know. I really, really don't know.
You don't know what your biggest insecurity is? Is that because you just have so many and they're all level?
Yeah, let me just dive into my bag and see which one's the biggest.
Just fill it out,
I think embarrassment's quite a large insecurity.
You're
I just get-
insecure about feeling embarrassed.
Yeah.
Is that an insecurity?
I don't like opening up to people.
Right.
and
You don't
I
like being
think-
vulnerable.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that an insecurity? I
found
don't like
it.
being vulnerable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
like sharing.
Well, that makes sense, you know, because considering you didn't want to share any kind of emotional conversation the other day with your colleague, although I can kind of understand because it's your colleague, so.
It's a bit weird,
But
isn't
it's
it?
a bit,
They're not
yeah,
friends,
time and
but
place.
kind of friends.
Time and place.
Yeah,
Agreed. However, you're quite good at sharing your emotions on the podcast. What is it about the podcast?
No. Well, it's because we're all friends.
Yeah.
We're closer friends than I am with my colleagues.
Yeah.
You, I, and the Tune Squad.
Do you forget that, like...
Other people are listening?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Because it's just me and you here.
100%.
But actually, there's so many people that listen to this every single
So many
week.
of the Tune Squad. Listen every week.
And
Turn on the captain. I get it.
it's weird because it's just a conversation between you and me, and we're good friends. Sometimes.
Good to start.
Okay, friends.
I know who you are. Ex-housemates. Let's say it's up. Let's put it as
Extra reason. No, I think it is weird, but I mean, maybe I shouldn't talk about it too much because I don't want you to get in your head about it. You get like
I just shut down.
a bit more insecure about talking about your feelings on this podcast because you realise how many people listen to it.
No, this is weirdly a bit like therapy for me.
Is it?
Yeah, a bit like that.
I didn't think like you'd ever be the person to like therapy though.
I hate therapy.
Yeah, so what? But you like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
you come back every week for some reason. You're still here.
Well, therapy's a bit different. Therapy is you're the only one sharing, and that makes me uncomfortable.
Right. So because
I don't like too many
share
eyes
my
on
soul
me.
as well.
Yeah.
But you've got lots of ears on you.
Well, that's fine. I can talk about... The other thing is, for me, is questions. Therapists often just like let you run, metaphorically, and they don't go, so how does this make you feel? What about this? How about this? Where you go, what about this? Tom, what about this?
I move the conversation along.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically,
so that's
don't
why,
let you get too deep in your thoughts.
That's why therapy is slightly different to a podcast, Anya.
Well, yeah. But again, I think that...
Did I bring up the therapy reference, or did you?
No, I did. Well,
Oh,
no,
thank
you
God.
said this is kind of like
damn.
therapy.
Yes, I
Yes,
did say that.
you did say
Yes.
that. But
Yeah.
I think, again, what you just said about how, like, you don't like going on and on and going too deep into your feelings
Yeah.
is, again, like, you're insecure or your insecurity about being vulnerable. Like, you don't want to let yourself get to that bit.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
I also
what
think
will we
on
find down there, Tom?
I don't
deep,
know.
deep down.
That's what I'm worried about, Anya. Why am I this person that I am? This weird, charismatic guy who not going to say that. Weird, charismatic guy. I don't know where I was going with it. Oddball was...
Oddball.
I thought I was better than an oddball, but I guess not. Yeah, I'm worried to find out more.
Yeah.
Because what I don't know now doesn't hurt me.
Yeah, but it's still you. Surely you know what's there.
But the fact that I don't know, there's a reason why I don't know it. Right?
Not sure.
Okay.
I think I know myself
Why aren't
pretty
you
well.
sure?
Because I think I know myself pretty well. I think...
But last week's episode, we
Yeah.
spoke about faces and
Yeah.
why we have different faces.
Yeah.
If I wasn't hiding something, I wouldn't have X amount of faces. I would have one face for one person.
Yeah, but you know all your different faces.
But I shouldn't have other faces, is what I'm saying. There's something deep-rooted that means that you have to have faces, is my guess. And I'm being you with all these hand actions.
Maybe
You're
I
very
should just
animated,
keep
very
going.
Anya-esque.
Keep going. How does that make you feel?
I don't like this. That's a real
Very
question.
insecure.
That's a real question. That I hate it. I hate it, Anya.
It's fine. We'll move this on so we don't have to make you
We'll
suffer.
move this
We'll
on,
make you
okay? But yeah, opening up and being vulnerable to people is one of my biggest insecurities. Is that an insecurity?
I think so, yeah.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Probably my weight, which is probably like the most common. Well,
Okay.
one of the most common, probably. I don't know. It's a difficult one. I've always had like, there's been times where I've been like very pleased with the way that my body looks. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I look great, feel great, whatever. But there's definitely been more times in my life where I haven't. Like, there's more amount of time in my life where I've been unhappy with the way that I look than happy.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even happy, but just, like, content, like, okay with it, you know? But then that's weird to me because also I don't do much about it. Like, clearly I'm not that insecure about it that I want to do anything about it majorly. I don't know, it's a weird one. I just think that, like, you just have so much pressure. I think men get it as well, but I think girls probably got it a bit more, especially with, like, the era that we've just gone through with, like me growing up, anyone that's in their mid-20s, like, even before social
your
media.
age should be one of your biggest insecurities, aren't you?
It's not yet, but thank you. I'll add that to my bag of insecurities. We used to grow up with, like, magazines that had page 3 girls. And, like, what was that about? Where you'd have girls
just
that
sold. Sex sells.
But, like, it's not just... So with sex comes along a vision of a woman who is, like, slim and, like, curvy in all the right places, blah, blah, blah. But I think as social media has come along, definitely the early periods of social media, it was very much like I think the early 2000s is where the trend of being really, really super skinny was so trendy. And now I definitely think now it's moved on a little bit and curvaceous figures are actually more loved. Like, you have the Kardashians, who everyone, like, adores, and, like, Cardi B, like, these, like, curvy, voluptuous women who are bringing kind of the trend of being more curvy and bigger into fashion, and people are loving it. But definitely in the area that I was a kid, like, I'm talking 11, 12, 13, when I was going through all the body changes and, like, actually realising what it is to be a woman, was when the trend was to be really skinny. And then you've suddenly got, in my later teens and my early 20s, it's okay to be curvy. It's very confusing out there. It
must be confusing.
Very confusing.
Trends move so quickly.
Exactly. And yeah, I've just always had an issue with it, I think. And it doesn't really help because
Sorry to hear that.
Growing up in, like, okay, I feel bad because my mom's, like, the most amazing person ever. But she definitely used to say, like, I'm scared because I'm scared she's going to listen to this. But I think she knows this. Like, she used to tell my brother he could have, like, a certain amount of dessert. Like, she wouldn't really, like, hold back with how much he could eat. But then with me, she would be like, do you really think you should have that?
Oh,
and it would be like, what? And, like, all of these mixed messages. And I think she was just basically trying to, like, protect me in a sense. But also it is difficult because my brother had, like, the what do you call it, where
Metabolism?
you can metabolism. He had the metabolism where, like, he could eat loads and still be a stick, whilst I think because I was a bit earlier, and obviously, like, when you're a teenager, that's when, like, your hormones start kicking in, you start to become an adult. I definitely put on weight so much easier than he did back then. So I think she was just trying to protect me from that, because obviously if I did put on lots of weight, I probably would have felt 10 times worse than her saying, like, don't have that chocolate pudding, Anya. But I don't know, it's just...
But I like chocolate pudding.
Difficult. I've just wanged on for ages, but it is a massive insecurity.
I think weight's an insecurity for a lot of people. I struggle with weight because I used to be a big old chubbo in the nicest way possible. I had so at school I was known as Black Tom because I was the darkest of everyone. And then this is where it hit, was my name then changed to Fat Black Tom. That hurt. That hurt a lot.
Nice.
No, it's not nice, but I got it because I was huge. And
how old were you when you were nicknamed that?
13, 14.
That's horrible. Were these, like, from your friends who were just kind of, like, joking, but
well.
like it hurt you?
I had those type of friends that we made those jokes.
Yeah, probably,
like,
just like young boys being
I had a best friend called
stupid.
George, who was also a larger lad, and he was called Georgie Porgy, or Porge. We used to call him Porge. Awful, but because we're friends, it was kind of deemed acceptable, which is awful.
Yeah.
But then I was called Fat Black Tom. But luckily for me, I kind of grew and it stretched out a little bit. But my sweet tooth didn't. And that's where my issue is. So I eat a lot of sweets and a lot of sugar. And sugar is where the fat is stored.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm the shape I am. But
you're not large at all, like in the slightest now. Like
I
I've
think
never
it's because
known
I'm quite
you.
tall.
Right.
I think that's where it kind of like distributes, and
So
also
you
wear a lot of
grew
baggy shirts.
and then
Yes.
it kind of all
Yeah.
evened a little bit more.
Yeah, but I don't eat well,
Yeah.
as
me
in
either.
salads and whatnot,
No.
and I don't do a lot of exercise.
Well, me either now.
So I go through stages of putting on weight, taking off weight, and I don't think that's healthy. But I think a lot of guys have image problems as well. I think everyone does.
100%.
Everyone does. I'm not trying to say you're not the only one, Anya. Get over yourself. But like guys grow up watching like James Bond and watching all these footballers, and they're all shredded, and
Yeah.
the girls always love the shredded cut guys. You watch Love
Yeah.
Island, you go, none of these guys have a beer belly.
It's
You
very
look at you
true.
and you go, well, I've got a beer belly. How come they
Well,
don't?
that's how I feel about Love Island as well. But they usually do try and get one more curvy woman. But then even the curvy woman that they put on there isn't even like curvy. She's like got bigger boobs and a bigger bum basically, but she's not like large anywhere else.
No, exactly. And I don't want to discredit Love Island. I think it does a great purpose for entertainment. People love it. People get great thrill from it. But I do think it gives a lot of people image issues. I think our media has come a long way.
Yeah.
As in, we haven't got many Kate Mosses anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the era in the
They were stick
noughties.
thin, just very. I don't know how to phrase it because she was an icon,
Yeah.
but she was very small and
But
very.
you know
petite
her
and-
motto was nothing tastes good as skinny feels.
Oh no!
That was Kate Moss's motto, and that's
She
the
had goop
era.
hoods.
Huh? She had
Has
good
she
what?
had good? Has she had goop hoods?
Goop? Did she?
Have you had goop hoods?
I've had a goop hood. Yeah. So she's not
I
living.
bet they taste nicer than being skinny.
Than skinny, yeah, skinny feels. Yeah, but that is like the era that I grew up in. So it's like, yeah, very mixed messaging. But I think something that helped me with my weight is learning a bit more about the history and like how trends work, because seeing the stark difference between the early noughties and now of how people view bodies and like what people's preferences are. If you circle back to like the 1950s when you had Marilyn Monroe about, she was the most curvaceous woman. Like she didn't have she wasn't overweight, but she had a tummy and she had like chunky thighs, and like she didn't have sticks for arms. Like she had like I don't know, a good size arm. Like you couldn't see bone
a good
there.
size arm.
She had a good size arm.
That's what I look for.
And men literally like praised the ground she walked on. Like she was an icon, like a beauty icon. And even to this day, like she's fit. Like she's not in our time, but she's a good looking woman. Even to this day, like people are still dressing up as her for Halloween, and like people reference her all the time as like an amazing icon as a woman.
Yeah.
And she was really curvy. So I think like trends in weight always come and go. I just really hope now, with more awareness of everyone talking about insecurities, body insecurities on social media, we can flag that it's not okay to shame people that are really super skinny, and it's not okay to shame people that are really fat. And actually a healthy weight, somebody that does have a bit of a tummy and not sticks for arms, is a good thing, as well as somebody that's super skinny or curvaceous. Like just being an in-between of those two things is
think
also
if you're healthy,
fine.
If you're healthy, as in not causing your body physical damage, as in not giving yourself diabetes or giving yourself obesity, which is causing like heart issues and lungs issues,
Then that's sexy.
then just do what you want to do, right? As long as it doesn't impede your living life.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No, I know, but it's so much easier said
But
than
it's
done,
easier to
isn't
say
it?
than do it.
Because also, okay, I think we're getting to the point now. I'm hoping that the next generations, I really hope so, have less of this problem than we do, and I hope we get to a point. But I hope it's less than what my generation kind of went through.
No.
But we will see.
It'll never change. That's the issue.
It's a comparison thing, though, isn't it? It's like, okay, so if the media like stopped trying to like boast the
Well, I
skinny
think it's
look
the
or
whole-
the
it's the
curvaceous
whole-
look. If they put a normal look out,
if you want to date a hot guy, you want to look what the best would be. And internally, because of how we've been brought up, I don't think we'll ever be able to be brought up and go, oh, someone who's overweight will be going out with a guy with a shredded six-pack. Because that's how we've been brought up to visualize beauty in essence. I don't think you could change that.
Yeah, but I hope that one day the media will stop posting people that are like...
I think the media has done a huge difference.
Yeah, oh no, 100%. That's why I'm saying I'm hoping the next generation has more of a chance than we do. But
so far away.
Even if they posted like people that, I don't know, have everyday normal bodies, have a bit of a tummy, like I said, a nice arm, I think then people will start looking at that as like the beauty standard, won't they?
Well,
and then
I don't want to keep
really
talking about the Kardashians, but skin.
Yeah.
Skim?
Skims.
Skim?
Skims?
Yes.
Skins?
I
You
don't
mean
know.
Kim Kardashian's
Her brand that
clothing
she's made.
wear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She uses different size models,
Yeah.
and I think that's huge.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think not enough people down on the runways in Milan are,
Yeah.
in the catwalks. I think we're still aiming to be those stick figures and shredded guys because of fashion weeks, in essence. But
Yeah.
So Anya, here's a weird insecurity that I've got. I wanna like push it onto you, so you've now got a crippling anxiety as well.
Joy.
So a question that often gets brought up when you're an adult
Yeah.
from other adults is, oh, so where do you see where do you want to work? Where's the next step?
God
and-
knows.
And I always panic because I think if I don't have aspirations, oh, what are you, a loser? Well, you just going day by day. You have no ambition. That's
Yeah,
sad.
people automatically
And then
judge
you get
don't
judged.
they? Yeah.
But then I don't want to say, oh, well, I want to go into this, and they go, oh, Tom, no, you'll never get into that.
Why would they say that? That's not
I
very
don't
nice.
know. I don't know. I just panic, and then I have this like internal monologue of, what do I say? What do I say? Oh, I don't know. Maybe do this. Maybe do some of that. You know, I don't know. It's my least liked question that gets asked to me on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And how does someone going, oh, so where do you see yourself in the next 3 years make you feel? Do you feel like you're getting questioned and judged, or do you think it's just a friendly, oh, what are you up to? What are you doing?
I think it depends who it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's never like an easy
Oh, it's not like
question
if my
to
best
ask.
friend. It's not like my best friend says, "Oh, Tom, where do you see yourself in 3 years?" I can say, "Oh, probably in the same, place, doing absolutely nothing."
Okay, we have very different opinions on
I'm
that.
not going to lie to him. He knows I'm not going to be a billionaire in 3 years.
You never know. Put pen
I
to
do
paper,
know.
Tom.
I do.
Make things happen.
And do what? Write the word "I'm a billionaire"? Yeah, I could do that in 3 years.
I just think, right, it's such a nothing question because you don't like. What do you mean by where can you see yourself? Where do you? I think it just proves your personality type more than anything because you can either be a type of person who goes, I don't know, as in like it doesn't really look like you've got any aspiration, or you can be somebody who says like maybe like a reasonable answer, like oh potentially like a position higher than I am now, but then like do you have like enough drive, or you can be somebody who's got loads of drive and say, well, I want to be in this position.
And then
in
do you not
3
think
years.
they'll go, oh, she's a bit full of herself. She can do
Yeah,
this,
so
like that.
it's kind of hard, isn't
And then it's
it?
like, oh, I want to refrain from it, so I don't want to jump too far ahead. I
Yeah.
just want to be like, oh, I don't know, maybe.
It's not a very
maybe
nice
do this.
question, but
I get why they ask it.
Yeah,
I get why they ask it. It's an inquisitive question. I
Well-
would ask something similar, but at the same time, if
I
they say I
don't-
don't know, I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I don't know either.
I don't think they ask it to actually see where you want to be. I don't think they really care. I think they ask it as a judge of character question.
I think they ask because they're curious what I'm doing with my life.
Maybe that, but then they could also look on LinkedIn. Come on now,
I think it's like
pull a finger out.
because also I've been at the same job for the past 2.5 years, and I haven't like moved anywhere. I don't know if they're saying, oh, what's the next game plan?
Probably.
And I'm like, I don't have.
Not to make you feel insecure, but probably.
Well, probably they're probably judging me hardcore. I get it.
True. Like, does Tom still want to work here? Does Tom not want to work here? That's.
I'm
probably
like,
what
I
they're
don't know. I
looking
take it day by day. Some days I love working here. Some days I hate it. I
for.
don't know what I'm doing.
Maybe that's their like little prompt. You know, when like someone like gives you a little nudge, like,
Hey,
come on now.
should you have another? Should you have another
Lunch.
slice of cake? It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
Tom, should you beep off?
That's what they need to say. They need to be more obvious. They need to be like my mum when she's
Tom, we're
like,
firing you.
should you be having that dessert, Anya? That's what they
And
should
you said,
say.
Mum.
Should you really be in the role that you're in, Tom?
That's constantly one of the conversations I absolutely hate is, oh, so where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? I'm like, I don't know.
What's the conversation that I hate?
Tom, what are we talking about this week? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I hate that conversation. I got asked recently by my family, so when are you and Alex getting engaged?
Yeah.
And I'm literally twice very recently, and I'm just like, no.
And the
not
answer?
really there yet. No, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, and then it makes me feel insecure. Like, should I be thinking about that? Should I? Is that something that I should now be thinking about in my mid-20s? When
It's like my mum.
Is this pressure now coming in? Like,
she got married to my dad quite young. She goes, oh, I was married by your age, Tom.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
makes you
that's
feel
good.
so insecure about yourself. Oh,
should I be married?
Should I be married? Questioning my whole life. Should I, Alex? Where's the ring? Come on now, we're running out of time. Clearly.
Maybe he's just wasted time.
Not a nice conversation to have. Weird.
No, it's not a nice
weird
conversations
to have.
It's a very weird conversation to have. Agreed. I back that.
Has there been anybody in your life, like a loved one, some like a friend that you love, or like a family member that you love, and they've shared their insecurity, or you've realised that they've got this insecurity that has literally just made absolutely no sense to you because you think like the world of them, but then they've got this massive insecurity?
No, no. This is why I'm the way I am. Is because my family.
Have these conversations.
No, of course not. No, we have very basic. I don't really know my family. We're very surface level. We don't open up to each other. Like, if I had an issue and I'd go to them, they'd obviously be there to help me. But I think it'd be weird if my dad came up to me and said, Tom, I've got this issue.
Yeah.
I go, well, Dad, take a knee. I'm going to talk you all through. It's not something we do. We're not a very open family. Yeah. Like, I'm sure my dad is with my mum and my mum is with her dad, with my dad. My mum and dad probably are very open with each other. And my sister and we're not that type of people.
Yeah. What about like friends?
Yeah, again, not that type of people. No. Wow. I think I hang out with people who are very similar to me.
Oh, not me. I'm the anomaly.
But okay, here's a fun one. The other day, being about 2 months ago, I saw my friend that I hadn't seen in about a year and a half. And I went to the bathroom, and then he went to the bathroom when I was still in there. And we had a deep chat for about 45 minutes in the men's bathroom. I thought it was going to go
very different. I thought you were going to be like, and I looked over to his penis, and then he got insecure.
So anyway, we made out for about 20 minutes. And I now don't hang out with him anymore.
Insecure.
His girlfriend didn't like it. No, we just had like a really deep 25-minute chat in the bathroom. Drinking red wine. We were drinking red wine in a bathroom. Weird. None of it's a normal situation. People coming in, coming out, we're just by the sinks.
You're not very good with red wine either, we know this.
No, I'm not good with red wine.
You end up on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, I didn't this time.
That's good.
But I didn't drink that much. But yeah, we just had like a really deep chat, and I was like, this is weird and uncomfortable for me. And also, I think if, let's say he came around here, we had red wine, we just had a very deep chat, fine. We don't do deep chats. Me and my friends don't have deep chats. This is something I've spoken about in the past, about how people need to open up more about emotions. But if I'm not happy to do it, why can I just expect them to do it? But if it was here, that'll be fine. But also the fact that men are walking in and out.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like yeah, so anyway, I'm super depressed. And this guy goes, whoa, I'm just trying to squeeze on by.
Squeeze on by.
Squeeze on by.
Squeeze one out.
Okay, I said squeeze on by. Gross. But because I don't open up to people emotionally, I guess that's why people don't open up to me emotionally. I don't know, but I think that's the issue. Is I'm not good at my emotions, so why should I expect other people to be better at their emotions to open up to me? And famously, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I can only open up if someone else has opened up to me. Like that's why this works.
Well, because I open up first,
and then I say my thing, or I open up first because I know that you're gonna then say your thing, hopefully.
All right.
See, if you asked me a question, I opened up very honestly, blah, blah, blah. And I said, what about you? And you said, no. I'm like, oh my God. I would shut down. I think I'd physically shut down.
No, you wouldn't. I've bared too much of my soul to you now, Tom. You'd be like, moving on.
I think if we were recording and you said, so Tom, what's the saddest moment of your life? And I go, well, the saddest moment of my life is this. What about yours? And you go, No, I'm not sharing mine. My body would just like convulse me like,
You
what?
need to go get this insecurity figured out.
Yeah,
Tom.
probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
One step at a time. But we're having fun talking about insecurities, Anya.
So much fun. I love talking about all my insecurities. It just makes me feel so good about myself.
We've had a lot of fun talking about insecurities, but something not to be insecure about is what you choose to drink, Anya.
Yes.
And my choice of drink
Go on in.
is Long Shot. Doesn't matter which flavour. Any of the three, all good.
Long Shot hard seltzer. We love them.
They're really good. And they've sponsored this whole season of Wild October for you adult. And these drinks, Anya, have around 70 calories.
It's very good.
70 calories?
It's very, very
That's like-
Moorish, that.
That's like half a beer.
Yeah?
That's about half. That is nuts.
it?
Yes.
I don't know how many calories
I think
are
a
in beers.
tin of beer is
I
around...
thought it was a lot more.
I think a can of beer is around 150 calories.
Well, there you go.
And 70 is under half.
Yeah. It's very good. Very healthy for you. All natural flavours as well.
All natural. So, natural fruits, no artificial flavours.
Exactly.
It's sparkling water, fruit, and alcohol.
That's what makes up a hard seltzer.
That's exactly what hot sauce. And they're so good. All three flavours. I'm drinking strawberry and rhubarb today.
Mm-hmm.
The grapefruit one is also very good.
Yeah, I quite like the raspberry and blackcurrant one.
I love it.
It's growing on me. My favourite one was the strawberry and rhubarb one to start with, but now I think actually it's on par.
Yeah.
It's on par.
No!
Yeah.
Raspberry and blackcurrant is so much nicer.
Okay. All right.
But-
Well, I have two favourites. Always on the fence.
But where should they go, Anya, if they want to buy their own long shots?
You want to go to www.longshotdrinks.co.uk, or if you just want to go check them out on their socials, have a little browse at what they sell and who
Cheeky
they
gander.
are. Cheeky gander. Go to at
Why are you fucking on the side of your face?
Go to at longshotdrink on Instagram. Go check them out.
Get
So
some
I'm just
tins
getting-
in. You get so emotional, Anya. I
It's
get
so
it.
emotional.
Get this colour tin.
Get those tinnies in for me.
Well,
Get
Anya,
yourself a long shot hard seltzer.
I will drink to that. And thank you very much, guys, for sponsoring this season of What I Want to Tell Before You Adult.
Thanks so much. So Tom, I
So,
want to know.
Anya.
We've spoken quite openly about some of our insecurities that we have, but I want to know, like, what was a moment in time where you had an insecurity, and what did you do to resolve it? Like, what do you do to kind
I
of
really
like
wish you gave me these questions in advance.
well, that's no fun, is it? Confront it, get over it, or try and tackle it, even if like you can't fully squash it. Like, what do you do in order to help that insecurity?
I don't know if I've ever squashed one of my insecurities.
No, they've just always been there.
I think they've just mounted up and up until I have a
Oh.
breakdown in my mid-20s.
All right, well that's no way to go. Please don't have a breakdown in your mid-20s. Come to me first, please.
Well, I'm still in my early 20s, so
All right, not
but,
long to go, Tom. I can't wait. Cannot wait. The day
I'm
you
just
turn
never gonna
25,
turn
you're
25.
gonna
I'm just
know.
never gonna turn
You're
25.
going to know about it.
I'm gonna leave country, change my name, and always be 24. But yeah, I don't really know. Well, I think one of my biggest insecurities is that when I was little, between the ages of like 4 and 18, I did tap dancing, and I was super insecure about telling people that.
Oh, that's so
I didn't want to be.
cute.
I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want people going, "Oh, look at this guy. Look at this
You
guy.
could
What
have
a
been like
loser."
the new Billy Elliot and made loads
Yeah,
of money.
I could have been,
Yeah.
but insecurities, Anya, because other boys my age weren't tap dancing. They were all playing football. I wasn't playing football. I was the anomaly here. I was the weird one. I was the one that doesn't fit into the box. And it crushed me. It crushed me because like people are like, "Hey, what are you doing on Saturday?" I'm like, "I can't meet up, guys. Sorry." "Oh, what are you doing?" "Stuff."
Oh,
just
did you not
stuff.
tell anyone? Like,
I
not
told
even
my,
one
my
friend?
I told my very close friends.
Yeah.
But you know how you've got like, I don't know if your friends are like this. I've got about a group of, let's say 10.
Mhm.
And inside that group of 10, I'm friends, like really, really close friends with 4 of them.
Mhm.
Do you have that type of friendship group? Where you've
I've
got
got
your core,
yeah.
then you've got your friends.
I've got like
and then
my
you've got your
best
friends of
best
friends.
friends, and then yeah, friends.
And so they knew,
Mhm.
but the outside of that crew didn't know.
Mm.
And then obviously their friends of friends didn't know, because that would be absurd. Why would I tell them out of anyone else? And so if they saw me in that situation, I think they'd come in at hell and be like, "Oh, he's got this, and it's fine, it's busy." Because they
Yeah.
knew how much I hated to talk about it.
Little kids are so mean though. Like,
Yeah,
I reckon
that thing.
if you did it now, people would be like, "That's so cool."
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I've no issue with telling people now that I used to tap dance for.
Yeah, but if you
14
tap dance
years.
now,
Yeah,
I
it's
reckon
also
people would say it's cool.
great exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
Great exercise. I stopped tap
And it's
dancing and put on
fun.
weight, but it was also a weird thing because I was just surrounded by girls, and for some reason that makes me weird and socially awkward. Because
Yeah, but again, at that age, like I think it was probably like
you want to hang out with people
girls
your own.
are
Yeah.
smelly, blah blah blah.
Still
I
are.
don't know what boys used to say about girls.
But
I thought boys are smelly.
but yeah, so I hated it. I hated talking about it. I hated telling people about it. And then in year 5, I don't know how old you are in year 5. In year 5, we had to
11?
do a probably
10,
let's go 10 or 11. You had to do a project where you had to like make an advertisement, so like make a poster of something that you could sell. You wouldn't actually sell it, you wouldn't actually provide this service, but it was just like this is something I can do. And I wanted to do something different that wasn't like the same as everyone else, like, oh, I could bake a cake, or oh, I can mow your lawn. And my dad said, oh, what about if you said you could teach tap dancing? I was in this weird position of like, it's a great idea because no one else is going to have that. And then also, no, don't tell people that because they'll think you're weird. And it was like a week. You had like a week to do this project, and it took me about 5 days to just come to terms with doing it.
Yeah.
I then did it because my dad's obviously right. And
What's the reaction?
a lot of people thought it was cool.
There you go. See?
A lot of people thought it was cool. I didn't get any flack from it. But
Do you know why though? That's probably because so many people
because you
are...
owned it.
Yeah, and also people are so worried about their own insecurities that they don't really have the time or care as much to worry about your
Well, the other thing was
things that aren't like socially acceptable.
I wasn't. How do I phrase it? I wasn't different enough for it to be like a thing. Like if I was already that weird kid, and then I said, "Oh, I also tap danced," I don't think it would get the same reception as, "Oh, Tom, we like Tom. Tom's quite nice. Oh, and he does this. That's good for
So
him."
because you're already socially acceptable, it's socially accepted.
I think that probably helped move it a lot.
That's so weird.
I think that helped though a lot.
Yeah.
Like you could probably think of a weird person at school, right?
Yeah.
Without saying their name, because that's incredibly disrespectful. Think of one weird person at school.
Basically, somebody who fits outside the
He's not
quota
into,
of norm by
your normality.
society.
And then they say they do bird watching.
Yeah, no, I know. I totally
And you'd be
get
like,
it.
oh, that's weird. But then let's say your best friend says, oh, I do bird watching. But like, oh, there's really pretty birds out there, aren't
Yeah.
there?
Well, it's the
And then-
same as like how now curvy women are socially accepted and people want to have like big bums. Like when Trent came in and I said to my mum like, oh, I really want like a bigger bum. She was like, what? That wasn't the trend when I was younger. Like having a big bum was bad. Like you were fat shamed for having a big bum.
And now it's widely accepted because when you hibernate in the winter, you're fine. Your butt's absolutely fine. The rest of your body's dead.
You know what I
But your
did
butt-
last year during lockdown and fine.
But yeah, that was probably one of my biggest insecurities, was opening up to people, because I had words from older kids call me like twinkle toes because their little sister's also doing dancing. So because of that, I was like really in my head about it, and then opened up to my school about it. And then weirdly, this isn't normal. This isn't good. I then went to secondary school and just never spoke about it.
Interesting.
Like again, my inner group knew,
Yeah.
but I wasn't going around going as, oh, I'm the guy who tap dances.
Yeah. Do you think speaking about it in primary school helped you? Like, would you advocate to people out there that have insecurities to talk about their insecurities, or like just confide in someone, or like see what someone's reaction would be to it? Does
So
that
tell
help?
one person and just get some feelers. Get some
feelers out there.
Yeah.
Because I definitely felt, so one of the insecurities that I recently came over is, I've had it twice now, where I've had really bad back acne. And it's like been a massive insecurity. And I had it whilst I was out in Australia. And obviously in Australia you've got hotter weather, so you're not wearing jumpers as much. Whilst the previous time that I had it, it was in England, so I could kind of cover up and no one knew. So I kind of really had to get over it, because people would be like, I'd be like, oh my god, it's so hot, and then they'd be like, take your jumper off. Then it's like 30 Celsius out here. What are you doing? And I'd be like, oh, I really don't want to. And then when my friends was like, why don't you want to take your jumper off? And I was like, because I've got spots on my back and I just feel really bad about it. And she was like, no one cares. No one cares. Like, I love you, but no one here cares. No, like everyone just wants you to feel like
to just not pass out,
not be sweating
heat
right now. Take your damn jumper off. And actually, it was like the best thing that I did, because then
took my jumper off. It was the greatest thing in my life.
Once you've done exactly, once you've done it and you realise that everyone's acting normal around you, then you're like, oh, actually, it's fine. Whilst I think you've been saying, you just get in your head about it, don't you? And you just think like, oh, this is going to happen, people are going to react this way, when actually, like, no, I just don't think people are that observant. Like, your problem you make so large in your head, but actually in everyone else's mind they probably won't even notice it. Like, they don't even know it's there.
100%. I think body image, though, is one of those things that you get in your own head. All of these are stuff that you get in your own head. Yeah. But especially body image it's a difficult one.
Yeah.
So that's one time that you overcame it.
Yeah.
Well, that relates to the question that we asked the Tune Squatters this week on our Instagram poll.
We did. So every week we ask you guys on our Instagram at WeAreAudioBox a would you rather question, so you guys can get involved in the podcast. And this week the would you rather question we asked was, would you rather confront your insecurities or ignore them? And Tom, what did you say?
Okay, what do you think I said?
I think you said ignore.
Oh, 100% I said ignore. 100%. If I don't have to do anything to change, I'm not going to do anything to change. I'm just going to live with it. I'm going to find new ways to burden this until I break down in my mid-20s.
Not the piano. The tap dancing. Piano, I don't know where that came from. The tap dancing, you confronted it and you said it out loud and it was literally fine. And then that big thing that you made in your head.
Yeah, but the anxiety I had the whole week. The whole week of anxiety, Anya.
But don't you think it's like anything? It's like when you do an exam and you've got a whole week of anxiety and then you do the exam, you're like, that's fine. Yeah. Or like that interview that you just big up in your head. It's just overthinking, isn't it? Comes with insecurities.
But that's the same with everything. That's what we'd just be speaking about. It's the same with everything.
I know.
I don't think so. I could get out my journal of Tom's insecurities. I don't actually have a journal. I've got a metaphorical bag. But I could get that out, and I think the time it would take me to finish all of those, I'd be dead.
Jesus Christmas. Well, we can start here,
so,
Tom.
Yeah, it's easy to repress.
It's
easy to... Oh, it's just scratching the surface. It's easy to repress and not share. Like, I've said this about emotions 1,000,001 times. It's easy to just not share, not approach anything, don't change anything, because it's not... My insecurities aren't harming me.
Well, they are, because they're harming your self-esteem. Well, and they're harming your mental health because they're harming your self-esteem.
But if that's it...
Well, that is a big thing. You need to look after your health, Tom.
I know, and I've tried.
I think you need to do it again. I think we need to set you the challenge of...
the other thing is, I just don't know...
confronting one of your insecurities, not getting over. Cause
the other thing is, I just don't know what my insecurities are.
Well, we've just said one of your insecurities. One of your insecurities is being vulnerable. You need to
I don't know how you open up to people.
You go up to somebody and...
A stranger on the train?
No.
Hi, I'm
Tom. Your work colleague, go up to her and say, look, right, we've both got things that we should probably hash out here. This is what's going on with me, and then we're going to come over to you.
I don't have anything to hash out with her. Jeez.
Just talk about your emotions.
That's something I will do. I will talk about my emotions with someone I work with.
You've been going on about how you think that men should talk about their emotions. So
men with their men friends. Or women friends.
Go find your man friends then, or your men. Go find
your men or your women.
Go to the toilets with your red wines and then hash it out.
I think generally, after talking about it, I think what I might do is just invite some boys around here. Some of my friends. That sounded so much worse than I wanted it to. I'm gonna invite some boys and I'm gonna drink some red wine. Oh, I'm now on a register. I want to invite my boys round, have some red wine, and just open up.
Do it.
Yeah, it just depends how much they're going to open, doesn't it?
Well, you can only try, can't you? And if you're not the first person to do it, then who is? Someone needs to start it. So there you go.
But someone needs to end it as well.
All right. Well, then that's when you say get out.
I spilled my long shot.
You spilled it everywhere.
Well, not everywhere,
Alright,
because I
just a
caught
little
it,
bit.
but a little bit went.
Well,
I missed a little
you're
bit.
clearing yourself up. I said, obviously, confront insecurities. I think I've learned over my 25 years of life that confronting your insecurities, and I think speaking them out loud makes them a lot smaller than they are.
Okay.
Like, I think they live bigger in my head than they do when I say them out loud. They sound a bit silly. Not that.
What do you mean?
What my insecurities are silly, but I just think in the grand scheme of things, they're not that big. Like how I told my friend about my back acne and how I was really worried about it. And in my head, like, I was thinking, oh, people will look at it and think, like, that's disgusting, like, ew, blah, blah, blah. But actually, like, no one batted an eyelid. So I think that when you actually say it out loud and see how people react to it, I don't think it's as big as you make it out to be in your head. So I would always try and confront it, speak to a friend about it, you can just even just tell one person about it, and I reckon they'll probably make you feel so much better, because I do think these insecurities live rent free in our heads.
Make them pay.
Make them pay, exactly. But you guys said, very much in line with me, 67.
Good, I'm kind of glad that. How much?
Of you guys said 67.
I thought it was going to be more.
Oh,
I thought I was going to be the only one voting for my choice.
Said confront, and 33% said they'd rather ignore their insecurities.
Well, 33%. Do you want to come around to mine? We'll have some red wine.
A bottle of red wine or a long shot.
Or some long shots.
Yeah.
We'll sit in my bathroom. And we'll just...
Very odd.
Well, that's where it was last
Is
time.
your bathroom big enough?
Yeah, a few of us can fit in the bath.
Can you fit in the bathtub?
So I think
One
3
in the
people
sink.
could probably sit in the bath.
Yes.
1 could sit on the toilet.
Mm.
And then I reckon we could... I reckon another 3. So I'd say 7 people.
3 on the floor? No
3 on the
takers
floor.
for the sink?
I don't trust people to sit on my sink. That will snap right off.
Fair enough. Well, if you snap it off, then that's making more room, isn't it?
We could get someone to sit underneath the sink.
Yeah,
Do you know
small
what?
person.
I'd say probably 8. 8 people could probably
Alright,
come in my
there
bathroom.
you go. There's an invitation.
7 and me.
7 lucky listeners.
7 tune squatters can come round and tell me about their issues.
There you go. Sorted. We'll get.
I may or may not open up about my issues. But if you want to get involved with our poll that we put up every week, you can head to our Instagram page, which is @WeAreAudioBox. We also have a Twitter with the same handle, so it's super convenient. Go over, see what we tweet @WeAreAudioBox. Say hi, DM us, send us what your I'm an adult butt is, because I've got to imagine it's not just Anya and I who are doing these things as adults that people go, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That's such a childish thing to do. So DM us on Twitter or Instagram @WeAreAudioBox and tell us your I'm an adult butt for this week.
Oh, I have to say I still haven't done anything with the wax on the carpet. It's still there. I've not been brave enough to put the iron on the carpet.
So you could
yet.
say wax on.
The wax is still on.
Wax on, not wax off.
Not wax off. The wax is still on. I'll keep you updated, but that is my update. Nothing has changed. Continue, sorry.
Did you know the wax on, wax off reference?
Probably not, no.
All right, cool. Well, if you got the reference, tweet us or DM us on our Instagram and Twitter page @WeAreAudioBox. We'll be back next week for another great episode of What Adults Tell You Before You Adult, brought to you by Longshot. Thank you very much, Longshot, for sponsoring this season of our lovely podcast. And Tune Squatters, we will see you next week.
Sorry, this is my cue, isn't it?
No, you just sit there. You just carry on watching me. I'm fine. Do you want me to do both bits?
I'm just quite enjoying it. All right, ready? Bye, kids.
Bye-bye.